Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to NXT with Najee, part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast. Yo, I know it has been a while. It's been a whole month. It's been a whole month. But trust me, we have been taking this month to put together something incredible for you. And we did just that with this episode. So, welcome to the 2024 Women's Division Top 10 for NXT. That's right. We are making a top 10 list for the women's division. And I'm not alone. You guys might recognize this guest of mine. This guest of mine is incredible. He sat with us a bunch of times. We met him in the crowd. We know him as the green hat guy, but I know him as Pat. What's going on, Pat? Say what's up to the world.
Yo, what's good? It's me, Green Hat Guy, GHG NXT's Green Hat Guy. That is me. Proud member of the NXT universe. I love everything NXT, and especially the Fire Women's division that we have, which we get to talk about today.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible. I'm extremely grateful that you were able to, hop on the show. It's been kind of hard trying to schedule some things. We were gonna have multiple guests, but the scheduling conflicts kind of, just led us to a good one-on-one, and I'm really excited for it. So how did you get into NXT? Like, what got you to the PC? Like, how'd you get there?
So actually, I started watching wrestling a little later. It was more 2015, and a lot of people have been watching it since they were like little. Um, I kind of just flipped it on one day. I saw guys like the New Day. I saw uh, Dean Ambrose was one of my first favorite wrestlers. Um, and then I kind of just from there I found out that there was another wrestling show. I figured I'd give it a try. And what made me fall in love with NXT specifically was people like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, DIY. Love those guys.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, um, Paige. Oh my goodness, I loved Paige. Oh my
You're
goodness.
praying for the return. I can see it in your eyes.
Oh yeah, I am. Oh, I am. But yeah, and ever since then, I kind of just immediately fell in love with it. Even if it was like a little bit later than a lot of other people, I still just, it was like an instant connection. I wanted to know more. I wanted to be more involved. So, and then I found out that we film NXT in Orlando.
Oh,
So wait a second, we can go. So
for
yeah,
free?
I know for free.
It's crazy.
Well, when I started going, it was still you had to pay for tickets. It was cheap. You still had to pay for tickets at the other arena, but
Oh, okay.
still got to see like Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain live. That's one of my favorite NXT experiences I've ever had. Um, but yeah, I like I said, I've wanted to get more involved and learn more about all of it. So then I've done just that, and we found a great community at NXT. You know.
Yeah, man, it's literally like a Fast and the Furious, like family in that thing now. We're like 15, 20 deep. Every single week we walk in there, man. It's incredible. And to be able to have you on somebody who's been in the crowd since the original days is even more of a blessing. So I'm really excited for us to be able to use that knowledge that you have from the past and use the stuff that we've seen over the past year in order to get this rolling for this women's division. Now it's time to get into the nitty gritty, my friends. We're going to start off with our first two categories that I'm going to run through with you. And the first category is going to be too new to queue. Recently, we've gotten a lot of new women superstars that have come into the NXT locker room, and I don't think that that's really fair for me to add these three individuals to our top 10 list because they've only been there for a couple of months. And as most of you can guess, I'm talking about Julia, I'm talking about Stephanie, and I'm talking about Zarya. Now, most people's list, they're probably going to be top three immediately just because they came in with a crazy background, a lot of history, and I just personally don't think it's fair to put them on the list this early. So that top 25 list or the top 10 list for next year, it's going to have them on it for sure. We're going to move on to the next category, which is our injury disqualification category. Now, on our list for the injury disqualification, we have Nikita Lyons. We have Wendy Chu, Cora Jade, Ariana Grace, and JC Jane. JC Jane was a tough one to put on that list for the both of us because
Yeah.
JC had a great, great year, especially putting together Fatal Influence. But she was dealing with the injury bug for a little bit, so we didn't get to see her wrestle too much. A lot of it was just interactions backstage, promos, and a lot of trash talking, which we've loved.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, we're almost to the top 10. We're going to get this thing started soon, but of course, we have those superstars that we've loved so much and we've seen so much throughout the year, but they were just this close away from making the top 10 list. Now, I myself have a handful. I know Pat's only got a couple of them, so I'm just going to start off with my first one by saying Kendall Gray. Kendall Gray is my first honorable mention here for the year of 2024. She comes in with a amateur background of wrestling, like actual wrestling. And I don't, no disrespect, of course, I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. But the way that she's transitioned from wrestling at the collegiate level, at the, damn near the Olympic level, and transitioning that into the sport that we love has been unreal. I'm not sure if Kendall is on your list or not, Pat, but man, oh man, that woman deserves all the flowers, and that is my like number one person to look out for next year.
You know what? That is actually absolutely insane. She is also in my honorable mentions. Because we love Kendall Gray, we get to see her on NXT Level Up. We get to see exactly how good she really is. So, really, I think my only problem with Kendall Gray is that she doesn't get the exposure that she needs. I would like to see her in more matches because every opportunity that they give her, she definitely shines. Every match on Level Up, she proves that she has some of the best graps in that locker room. And we all know that we have a stacked locker room back there in the women's division. I remember I'm not great with time, but I think it was this year that she had a qualifying maybe fatal four-way for some kind of championship. Was that
Yeah,
this year?
yes, I do believe so.
And honestly, I don't know how I feel like some people forgot about that, but she absolutely showed out in that match.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, she was the MVP. She shined like nobody's business. She's been every single time she gets in the ring with anybody, even if it's a squash match with her being the person gets squashed, like it's unreal some of the like technique and stuff that she can do. And not to mention her interaction with the No Quarter Catch crew when she
right,
slammed
right.
Miles. Like that was insane.
Yeah, like, hey, is nobody going to talk about Kendall Gray's amazing moments that she's already had in her, so recent career? Like, give her another year and give her more opportunities to shine, and she'll grow a bigger fan base than the one that she already has. Because I feel like it's mostly just the NXT faithful who get to like see her, but like the more exposure she gets, the more she's definitely going to become a fan favorite.
hmm Agreed, agreed. So Kendall, you got our support. You're on our honorable mentions list. So just know we love you. We're out here. We're supporting it. All right. What about you? Would you like to give us another one of your honorable mentions, Pat?
Yeah, sure. My other honorable mention would be Thea Hale. Um, I would have liked to put her higher because I enjoy her wrestling style. I think her character is, a little more unique, at least to me personally. We get to see it all the time. Um, but I just couldn't remember any specific, like, huge moments. I more am associating it with recent times of, like, haven't seen her in the ring as much recently, but she was amazing in this Chase U story that just unfolded.
Hmm
She was really a driving point, a pivotal character in that whole story, and I really appreciate her dedication. She goes in my honorable mentions because even if she hasn't had the best year in ring wise, like in singles competition wise, she still is such a hard worker. She's a workhorse in the women's division, I'd say.
I agree, 100%. I got Thea on my list as well. So Thea Hale, you've been honorably mentioned. All right, next we have for myself. I'm gonna put Jakara. Jakara Jackson is my another person on my honorable mention list. Her and Lash together have been fantastic. I know we didn't get a chance to see her wrestle a lot because she was injured at the back half of last year, going into the very beginning of this year. But her performance on the main roster and getting called up definitely deserves a spot on our honorable mentions list because a lot of people did not expect Chikara to have it in her to be able to be on the main roster and to hang and show out the way that she did. And dude, all the flowers go to Jakara and Lash because that was very quick, very spur of the moment, and they did nothing but show out and shine the whole entire time. So
You know what?
Jakara, you're on my list.
Yeah.
Very well. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Well, we have some more honorable mentions we would like to do, but we don't have a lot of time. So we're just going to fly through a couple of mine really quick, and I'll let Pat kind of fly through his. So the other honorable mentions that I do have, I want to give a shout out to Izzy Dame, Carmen Petrovich, and the whole entire TNA women's locker room that decided to pop up and show out. I just want to make sure y'all get your love too. But those are the rest of my honorable mentions. Pat, you got a couple more you want to throw out before we get this top 10 started?
Me personally, I'm a big fan of Brinley Reese. I really like her. I feel like she has a little bit more of a powerhouse style, but also given her size, she could be quite agile. She's another one who I would need to see more of in ring wise. Um, and um, and I also really love her attitude. She's fantastic. I
Yeah.
actually do like the character. Some people have critiques on it, but you know, I like it. Um, let's see. Again, I like that you shouted out the whole TNA women's locker room, which
Yeah.
is just fantastic because of course they've been showing up, they've been showing out, they've been, I don't know if I would like helping. We've been helping each other. We've
Yeah,
been,
very much.
going back and forth a little bit. Like I just mentioned Brinley. Brinley showed up on TNA. I think Sol Ruka did as well. So, it's been a good relationship we've had going recently. Um
I'm very much looking forward to what it means for the future because if we don't get an NXT TNA like collab, a PLE at some point in time, I think that we are wasting a gigantic opportunity. But that's a different
right.
conversation for a different time.
Yeah, different conversation, different time. We already have Worlds Collide. We did it one time.
Yeah.
Just do it again. Um, but let's see. I Carmen Petrovic really has been putting in work, as you mentioned.
Oh yeah.
Even the recent thing with Ashanti, I didn't know how much I'd like it, but now it's
It's a,
become,
it's a little silly, but I'm here for it. Like every week I catch myself like very much involved with what's getting ready to happen next with Thirsty Adonis. But all right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the moment we have all been waiting for. Our women's division 2024 top 10. Now, number 10 for me, NXT with Najee, is Lainey Reed. I'm giving, yes, a level up superstar has made my top 10. Ms. Lainey Reed, we will discuss why you have made my top 10 in a second, but Pat, hit us with your number 10.
My number 10 is Adriana Rizzo. I love Riz. Riz handles biz. We all know that. If you look in the crowd, you see my sign every time that she comes out.
Big Rizzo
Even when
guy.
she's even when she's just a manager, I'm a big believer in Rizzo. Um, I love her character and the way that she helped Tony D out in his darkest moments when he couldn't beat Oba at first for the North American title. Riz is another one who I really believe just needs some more time in ring, some more time in front of us because character wise, talking wise, I think she's already got it. She's got the look, she's got the talk. She just, she's already good in the ring in my opinion. We just need to see more of that.
Hmm.
So that's why she was, as much as I love her, she was on the line between is she in the top 10 or is she an honorable mention
Yep.
for me personally, but I just need to see more is all.
All right, so we got the Riz, and we now know why the Riz is your number 10 pick. Now, for my number 10, like I said, I picked Laney Reed. Now, for those who have been watching Level Up, you should realize by now that Lainey Reed is basically the face of the women's division for Level Up. Every single
Hmm.
week she is wrestling. Every single week she is winning. Every single week she's looking impressive when it comes to the acting, when it comes to the athleticism, when it comes to just the all-around character as a person. Lainey interacts so much with the fans outside of the show to where it's the most genuine thing I think that's happening right now consistently. So I believe that all of that gives Lainey a full package for the future. Like I think she's already ready to be included on NXT, like the main roster for NXT in general. So I want to make sure that I take the time to give that woman some love and let her know that yo, you deserve it. So that number 10 spot for me, Lainey Reed, and I'm sticking to it. You got it, girl. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. Nothing can stop you.
Heck yeah, yeehaw.
Yeehaw. All right, so now we are moving to number 9. Number 9. Pat, would you like to give us your number 9 pick?
So, not to upstage you, but my number 9 is Laney Reed.
Oh,
Yeah, I put Laney at 9, because every of course, everything that you said. Actually, she interacts with the fans in character better than some of the people on like regular weekly NXT. Like,
Hmm.
really level up. I feel like we're gonna say it a lot over over the course of this episode, but level up is really a show to watch. Okay, it's how you know who's going to end up on NXT on the CW next. You know, it's how you know that the future of the division is still in good hands. You
Hmm.
know, um, Laney Reed, like I said, yeehaw, that's the level up women's champion.
That's right.
Okay, she's stacked up enough wins. That's the champion right now. Okay, I keep track. Um, I actually have I have a note in my phone that I keep track of that. Um,
I
but
love
yeah,
it.
yeah. I love everything about her. She's also so aggressive. Some of the newer women, they're so afraid to like actually hit each other and give it their all, but she says, "I'll hit you, you hit me back."
Hmm.
And also, like you said, that attitude. We love that attitude. Because she's been heel recently,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
isn't stopping us from loving her. You know,
Nah. All right. So my number nine for me is Soruka. Soruka.
Soruka.
Now, I sat down and thought about it, and I went back and I looked at some of the matches, some of the heavy hitting women's matches of 2024, and Soruka's been in almost every single one of them. Now, for Sol to come back off of the injuries that she had has been incredible, but the way that she came back and how fast she made an impact and how fast she got to these main events for like the North American Women's Championship and the Iron Survivor and all these different things, like, dude, she is a walking highlight reel. There's nothing, I'm sorry, a jumping highlight reel. There's nothing that you can do about it. That woman is going to hit you with a soul crusher out of literally nowhere, and it is
Hmm.
one of the most effective, oh my God, out of nowheres since the RKO. So, Soul Ruka, you were my number nine. I wanted to put you up a little bit higher, kind of now that I think about it, but the rest of this list is it's almost impossible to throw you in anywhere else. So Soul Ruka, number nine. That's my number nine. Now we're
Heck
gonna
yeah.
roll into number eight. Number eight for me is Miss Ren Sinclair. Ren Sinclair is at number eight for mine. Ren Sinclair is another one of those people who was brand new to the locker room somewhat at the beginning of the year. Shine showed out, has also been put in some amazing positions to be able to show out. Her match with, oh, good Lord, who'd she just go against? Stephanie a couple weeks back?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
Stephanie.
it was amazing. That was
Oh my
so
goodness.
good. Like,
Everybody thought it would be a squash, and then
no,
it
dude.
wasn't.
But I definitely think that Ren deserves the number eight spot, and she has worked very hard, and I cannot wait until they give her an opportunity to win a title or just go on a winning streak. Her with no quarter catch crew is fantastic. That's the last
Oh
thing I'm gonna
my
say about
goodness.
that.
Yeah, of
But all
course.
right, Mr. Pat, what is your number eight?
My number 8 might be controversial, but it is Kalani Jordan.
Okay.
I put her back a little ways on this list. I know she was the first ever women's North American champion, but you know, and as good as she is, I just it's more that some of the things I don't find as believable. Like talking in front of us
Mm-hmm.
doesn't really, it doesn't seem natural to her yet. So, of course, she should have been in line to win that title. The first was more that was more the question mark for me because I think she needed to spend more time in front of us first, get a little more comfortable before you threw her in like that. But she does in ring. She does have amazing matches, like you mentioned, the ones with Sol Ruka. Even in the ladder match to win the first North American
Yeah.
Championship, she still was a show out in that match. So as impressive as she is, that's why I decided to put her at number 8, a little
So
higher up.
now this is my moment to upstage you because Kalani is my number seven. So
Oh, okay,
so I
there
can
you
I
go.
can segue right off of that and go right into my points about Kalani. And I agree. I agree. There is just something that's missing with Kalani, and I think it might just be the interactions with the fans. Her personality in the ring, incredible. It's just when she gets on the mic, it's very hard to believe her.
Hmm.
But athleticism there. Willing to adapt there. Like great attitude. Like I know when Mello left because she is dating Mello. For those who don't know, I know that she probably wanted to go. I know, right? I know she probably wanted to go with him. And I think the patience and the willingness to just learn and become better and become the superstar, it really just gains a lot of respect for me. And she appreciates the love. She's very quick to say something to the crowd, to us, once we're cheering for or cheering for a tag team partner. So she's got a lot of positive things going for her. I just think she's one step away from potentially being in somebody's top five. She's just one thing. All right.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right. So now we're going to move on to your number seven. Who is your number seven?
My number 7 actually is Soruka.
Okay.
I
Well, we flip flop for that one. I like
I
it.
know, yeah, we flip-flopped again. See, Najee and I, a lot of the time, we have very similar opinions
Yes.
on especially the women's division here because we happen to talk about it a lot. Because again, the best one in the world.
Amen.
Um, but um, but yeah, Sol Ruka. I mean, it was just so impressive. Again, like you mentioned earlier, coming off an injury and then consistently being in, um, even if not the main event, like main event adjacent matches,
Hmm.
um, even whether it's just on NXT or on PLEs, and also cannot forget, as I mentioned before, those bangers with Kalani Jordan. We'll never forget about that. She's going to be on NXT, teaming up with the aforementioned Zarya pretty soon.
Nice.
Um, and again, watch out because it's going to be another highlight reel. I feel like Zarya might throw Soul around a little bit,
Yep.
but it's going to be all good. Um, and I I just think that again, if we saw a little bit more character work, she could be easily a main eventer. But the thing is, she's already good though. She's good on the mic. I think it's just like it's time. It's time that she needs a little bit. Um, but man, I love Soul, and also she has been the first woman to qualify for the Women's Iron Survivor 2 years in a row.
Oh wow. Yeah, there you go.
Just
That's a good
just
stat.
throwing that out there. She
We see you,
was
so we see you. All right. So who is your number six? We're gonna jump right into number six.
my number 6. Is Lash Legend.
Oh, Lash
Lash
Legend.
Lash Legend. How could we not mention the bougie bully Lash Legend? Honestly, one of the pound for pound strongest women in that locker room. We will
She
never
slammed
forget.
Otis.
We will never forget her slamming Otis live on NXT TV. We couldn't believe our eyes. We
No.
didn't think it happened. We said, "Where's the harness?" There are no harnesses in wrestling. There's no way. She genuinely did that. And Otis, all respect, that's a big man. You know, that
Hmm.
is a that's a big man. Um, and also, like you said, she and Jakara Jackson have been getting that main roster PLE experience, and now they're about to bring that back to NXT. And oh my word, I'm so excited because both of them have gotten exponentially better in recent months over the course of this year. And again, I think it's about time for those meta girls to get some titles around their waists, whether that be the women's tag team titles, finally bringing them to NXT full time for a little
You
bit.
know what I'm gonna say. Bring the tag titles back to NXT and give us the Tonga twins.
Give us the Tonga twins.
I
Where
couldn't
is
help
it?
myself. I couldn't help myself. Oh, wait a second. There it is. That's right.
Give us the Tonga twins.
That's right. Anyway, sorry. I just saw an opportunity and I took it. I couldn't help myself. So that's your number six. So now we're going to jump into my number six. My number six is Tatum Paxley.
Tatum
Tatum
Paxley.
Paxley. Now I know this his you can't really see it right now because I'm the one talking, but he's blushing right now because Pat
Yeah.
loves him some Tatum. It's Tatum Tuesday, 7 days of the week in the Pat household. But
Oh
for
yeah.
me, I dude, she impresses me so much. Like my top five was really hard to put her in my top five, but she's right there on the cusp. Her character is fantastic. Her in-ring work is fantastic. Her outside of the ring work is fantastic. Her collaborations with all these people have been fantastic, from Wendy Chu to Good Lord. Even when she was going against Rosemary, like, dude, it's so much fun. Like, every time she comes out and interacts with anybody, it is fun. It is a very believable character. It's a very likable character. And it's, man, you just can't get past it, dude. My friend Arnell, shout out to Arnell, always screams, "Let's get weird" every time she comes out.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
dude, it's great. It's great. It's always good to have one just weirdo on a brand. Like, you got the Wyatt Six. You got Chelsea Green for SmackDown, and then we get Tatum Paxley for NXT. Like it's great.
Right, right.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
We are now at the top five. Now my number five might be a little controversial, might turn some heads to some people, but my number five is our current NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez.
Whoa, dude.
No way.
Whoa.
Is Roxanne your
Um,
number five?
no, no, she's not.
Oh, no,
I'm
he's just
genuinely
shook.
surprised.
He's shook.
I'm shook.
Yeah, I have Roxanne at number five. Now, Roxanne is fantastic. Roxanne is amazing. Roxanne is too good to be on NXT. I've said this. I've told this story before. If it wasn't for Cora getting hurt and Roxanne jumping in Cora's place, Roxanne would have been gone.
Hmm.
I think Roxanne would have taken the place of Kiana James more than likely in the draft from last year. But I just think she's ready for the main roster. And I put these other four women ahead of her because I think they deserve it a little bit more than Roxanne because she's basically had the title all year long. She's done a great job defending it. And I don't want to take away from her being her. So that's why she's still at my number five. Now we're going to jump right into your number five, Pat. Who do you got?
Um, for my number five, I got good old Tuesday Adams herself,
There it
Tatum
is.
Paxley. We like calling her Tuesday Adams. It's a little joke, just like Wednesday. That one came from J
Da-da-da-da.
Movie Mania.
Yep.
Da. Yeah, we
Da-da-da.
yeah, you'll hear it when she's wrestling. We'll do that. Um, but yeah, as he mentioned before, I love Tatum. Every day's Tatum Tuesday. Um, I will never forget her involvement in that triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship when Lyra was still here. She really, I feel like in that moment she proved that she deserves to be in the main event. I think she earned that.
100%.
And
She won the crowd over.
oh yeah, easily. Like in a match where Lyra and Roxanne are both in it, most of the crowd wanted Tatum to win. And that, I think that really speaks volumes in that moment. We were cheering for our favorite little weirdo, you
Yep.
know? We were cheering for our underdog, which I'm a big, I like underdogs. That's a me thing. Um but yeah, I think she just is a consistent worker. It doesn't matter the match, she treats it like it's WrestleMania.
Every single
I
one.
Every single time. That's something that I've just noticed. And as you mentioned before, she works well with everybody, whether she's wrestling against someone or tag teaming with someone. She's been in a lot of weird, like mixed match tag teams that, might not have made much sense, but like the chemistry was always there. And I can really only translate that to everybody likes her backstage.
Hmm.
She probably just like is a cool person to be around, so everybody already likes her. So then when they get to team together, it becomes, like a fun experience.
All right. So
Yeah.
now,
And
oh,
before
I'm
I
sorry. Yes.
yeah, one more thing. Hey Tatum, where's my doll? Can I get a doll? You're making dolls for everybody else. Can we be friends? Can I get a doll maybe?
I'm gonna post this, and I hope you see it, Tatum. And please look for the green hat. Bring that man a
Please.
doll. He loves
Please.
you,
I
like
do.
wholeheartedly.
I really do. Oh, and best theme song in NXT.
Oh
I
yeah.
love Tatum's theme song.
Yes. 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 But we're gonna move on. We are now at number four. We are now at the Fantastic Four, the final four. We're gonna start with you, Pat. Pat, who do you have at number four?
I have another woman who I hold near and dear to my heart. I have Ren Sinclair at number
Ren
four. I
Sinclair.
don't know if people will agree or disagree with me. That part does not matter. I know where my heart lies. It is with Ren Sinclair. Ren Sinclair, funny enough, is one of the people when I first started paying attention to the indies.
Oh,
Um,
she was Maddie
uh,
Renkowski,
she was Maddie Renkowski, main character Maddie
the main
Renkowski.
character.
It was a little thought in the back of my head. I was like, maybe I could end up on side character spotlight. That was a little thing that she would do on Instagram with like people she would work with,
Nice.
interview them for like a minute or so.
Yeah, with her tiny
Um,
microphone.
yeah, yeah, and
Yeah.
I always thought it was really funny. Um, but yeah, I've been following her for a long time, and again, she's another one who is very adaptable. She can figure out how to wrestle the best with whoever she's in the ring with.
Yep.
You know, she's one of those performers that, you know, she can she can play the heel, she could be the face, she could be the one getting thrown around, she could do the throwing. If she's in there with somebody who's great with graps like Kendall Gray, she can really hold her own. She can hit you with more like dynamic offense. I think she's very, like, as I said before, adaptable.
Not to
And
mention her
this
character work.
oh yeah, not to, of course. Oh my goodness. She she was I love the NQCC. She was the personality that the NQCC needed. I
It
think
brought it to
her
life.
Oh, really? It really blew up after she joined. You know, that whole story was honestly the first time that we saw a lot of those guys show any personality
Very
between like
true.
Miles Tavion and especially Charlie Dempsey, because we already
Very
knew he
true,
could
man.
wrestle, but he really needed someone to play off of.
Yeah, we needed to build him up a little bit more because he always seems so sad and like stagnant. Like he's just like, "Hey, I'm Charlie.
Right.
I
Even
have this cup." Like
even
that's
it's funny enough. My my mom texted me um when she was watching NXT one night, and she said, I've never seen Charlie Dempsey smile before. And and he was smiling after Ren won her qualifying match to get in the Iron Survivor. And I was like, "Oh wait, that's true. He's showing more personality than he ever has very recently, and it's akin to Ren Sinclair."
hmm.
So,
All right.
I I will always give Ren her flowers. Ren XT,
Ren
Ren
XT,
QCC.
baby. Hey, we love it. I'm sorry I didn't have you higher on my list, Ren, but just it is what it is. I'm sorry. All right, so now we're gonna move on to my number four. My number four is the one, the only, Miss Jada Parker. Miss
Ooh, Miss
Jada
Parker.
Parker. Jada Parker. Jada Parker. Now, don't get mad at me that you're not my number one or number two, because I know me and you got some sort of beef going on. I don't know what it is. I support you constantly. But yes, Jada Parker, number four. Jada had an unbelievable year, but always came short. Was just this close to being able to have those moments like shoot like Alani got to have, like Tatum's been having. She's always just so short, and it's upsetting to me that she has to keep resetting. And that's really why she's not in my top three, because it's a consistent reset, and I don't think it's fair for her. Like I believe she could easily be the number one on this list in 2024 if they would have just given her the opportunity to actually like win and cook and really just ride with the crowd, because the crowd is fully behind her. There isn't a single person in
Hmm.
there, at least from what we see every week, that isn't rocking with Jada Parker. The Miss Parker
Right.
chants are almost bigger than the whoop that trick chants at this point. Like she deserves a title shot and she deserves to win a title and be a dominant champion. And I think until they give her the opportunity to do so, she's gonna sit at number four for me. So what's number four for you, Mr. Pat?
I already
Oh, I'm
did my
sorry, number
number
three.
four.
Number
That
three.
was Ren. Yeah,
I'm sorry. My apologies. Number
yeah.
three. The Jada thing had me all twisted, brother.
Yeah, no, you're good. We'll continue to stay twisted because my number three is Jada Parker.
Yeah, there it is. We can talk.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it. Let's talk
yeah.
about
Let's talk about it. We could talk more about Miss Parker.
it.
Miss
Miss
Parker.
Parker.
Oh
Hey.
my goodness. It's everything. It's her charisma. Oh my goodness. She enters that room and commands the room. Every single eye is on her, and it's not just because she's good looking. It's because she has that star quality. She has that absolute star factor that just commands the room. Whatever match she's in, you're like, hey, we got to see what happens in that one. Because she's another one, consistently getting better. That's what NXT is for. It's to consistently get better and to work on your shortcomings until you are the star of the brand. And then you get to be the star on Raw or SmackDown, even though I prefer NXT every day
Yeah.
of the week. Um,
Yes.
um, but yeah, she's always put in these, like you said, she's put in big matches and then they stunt her momentum. And of course, I'm sure they have their reasons backstage at NXT, but to us the fans, we're like, "Hey, why didn't she beat Kalani for the North American Championship or something like that,
Why
you
wasn't
know?
she the like why well, why didn't she win against Lola? Like that kind of stuff. Like
Right. I was kind of hoping that she would be the first one to beat Lola in the underground match because
yeah,
Lola's still undefeated in underground. But
yeah,
you know, honestly, but that very recently that no DQ match. I know they called it something else, but a no DQ match is a no DQ match.
yeah.
It was no holds barred
At the
something.
ECW arena.
Yeah, at the
Yeah,
ECW
yeah, yeah.
arena. Yeah. Oh, the first women's hardcore match in
There it
NXT.
is.
That's what it
Yes.
was. That was another star-making performance from Miss Parker, in my opinion. She, I think maybe if I was to critique her on anything, because I'm trying to be really objective, if I was to critique her on anything, it's maybe like the little movements, maybe a little bit more of the graps, because she's great with big moves and energy and all that, but and she's even good with like smaller moves and graps and like transitional stuff. But I mean, there's always room for improvement, you know?
Yeah,
But
always, dude.
obviously she's in my top 3, so I'm a huge Miss Parker fan, okay? Put that woman in more main events, please and thank you.
Agreed. I agreed. Well, you hear it, Miss Parker. We're both supporting. We both got you in our top five. We both think that you deserve the world, and hopefully, you will see that sooner than later. Now, my number three is our Women's North American Champion, Fallon Henley, Michigan's own. You know, I got to show some love to the great glove state. It's on this side, I think. There it is. Bye, bye, bye. Yo, shout out to Fallon in the year she's had. She's had unreal promos. She has done a complete character swap from being a babyface to a heel, and it is the greatest thing that's ever happened to her as a performer. I I believe it. It's 100% believable. The fatal influence, even though it was very strange when it first got put together, in my opinion, but now as we see it every single week, gold, absolute gold,
Mhm.
absolute gold. Fallon Henley, you're on your way to an NXT Women's Championship, if not drafted. Like, dude, you got it. 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 And I'm just gonna leave it there, simple and sweet. Fallon Henley, you
Mhm.
are my number three. All right, you ready for this? You ready for these last two?
Oh yeah.
All
Oh
right,
yeah.
so I'll start with mine. Coming in at number two for my list of 2024 NXT women's wrestlers, I have the bougie bully Lash Legend. Lash Legend is my number two. Lash Legend deserves to be women's champion. I don't know why she's not. Don't know why she's not North American. I don't know why she doesn't have both titles, to be honest
It's
with
the
you.
truth. It's the
She's the
truth.
most dominant woman in that locker room up until Zarya and the rest of the new people got there. She is unreal in every single aspect. All that aside, she still deserves number two in the number two spot. Now, Pat, hit us with the good stuff. Who is your number two?
All right. So you left it there a couple of minutes ago. I'm gonna pick it back up. My number 2 is the women's North American champion Fallon Henley. Um, she just we've seen her entire almost her entire run as a wrestler. I feel like she wasn't wrestling for long before NXT, if at all. I remember when she first debuted on Level Up. It was you know I mean, of course, she was good, but I never, you never really know who's going to stay good and who's going to adapt over time and, change with the tides. And she really has. Um, like you said, she was fantastic as a face. Absolutely loved her as a face. I didn't know how I'd feel when she turned heel. I was a little hesitant because I was like, oh no, I like liking her. And then fatal influence. She finally got that dark side, got that edge, and oh my goodness, it works. I was genuinely shocked. Um, and as much as I love fatal influence, I like to point out toxic attraction and fatal influence are synonyms.
Yeah,
Um, um,
yeah.
they mean almost the exact same thing.
I blame JC
But
for that one.
yeah, that one it's a little on the nose.
For my number one, we made it all the way to the very end. My number one is, in my personal opinion, the queen of NXT right now, and that is Miss Lola Vice.
Oh, okay. Yours is Lola
Mine is
Vice.
Lola Vice, and I
Okay,
have to
okay.
I have to give Lola Vice her flowers for the year that she had. Lola Vice has been involved with almost every single main program that has been happening. She has either won or bounced back from a loss. She's 3-0 in Underground. She beat Shayna Baszler. She
Mm,
she should be women's champion. Like, if anybody could have beaten Roxy, like before Cora, before we got Zarya or anybody else like that, or Julia, like I think it should have been Lola Vice. I think that she had a lot to prove coming into 2024. Everybody thought that she was just shaking her butt, and that was about it. And now,
mm-hmm,
the whole entire year she has spent dedicating herself to becoming better, becoming more of a personality on the microphone, backstage, in the ring. She was a heel at one point in time. Then she was a baby face. She got rid of Elektra Lopez. Like, her whole story in 2024 has just been unreal. And her beef with Jaida Parker is probably one of the best rivalries in NXT and will be talked about once both of them are gone from NXT. Like, I just believe that altogether Lola Vice has it and has proven that she has the it factor in 2024 for NXT. So my number one
mm-hmm.
is Lola Vice.
See, I'm glad that we didn't say them at the same time because mine is not Lola Vice. Mine is just objectively, it felt
Uh,
disrespectful to not put Roxanne Perez at number one. I'm sorry. I know you didn't, and I
I feel
understand
it.
your
I feel it.
reasons.
I feel
I
it.
understand your reasons, and that's fine. It just felt disrespectful because currently, as it stands, she's the longest reigning champion currently in WWE. She has held her title longer than any of the people who currently have titles.
True.
I mean, I'm no mathematologist, but the numbers are there. It's just it's it it it's her consistency to me. I mean, sure, toward the beginning of the year, she really needed to work on mic skills, but after a while, we um we noticed that she figured it out. Now when she speaks, even though her voice is adorable objectively, we still believe what she says, you know, type of deal.
Hmm.
Where like she says she's going to absolutely mess somebody up. I believe it because now I know that she's tiny but mighty. You
Yeah.
know, she's actually going to do what she says. Um, I don't think it was this year, but I remember the Devil's Playground match where I wasn't sure if Roxanne could go there against Kiana James,
Yeah. Yep.
and man, did she! That was probably match of the night that night, if I'm not mistaken, because that was really good. Um, and yeah, she just we're talking about main events. I mean, who's been in more? You know,
Got a good
just
point.
yeah. This is I feel like that pick is more purely objective rather than like personal opinion driven.
Yeah, I feel that way.
With that one, as I said, it felt disrespectful
I feel it,
on my
man. I
part.
respect it. I respect it 100%. But ladies and gentlemen, you have it. There it is. Our top 10 of 2024. Now we know this is a longer episode than most of y'all are used to hearing, but we had to give the ladies the time and all the the exact respect that they all needed. I hope was given. I hope was
Right.
given. If we missed your name or your name did not make a list, please do not take offense to that. We still see you. We still love you. We are still here to support you. One thing about me and Pat is that we are always here to support that women's locker room, and we don't mean that in like a weird way. We mean that completely professional, completely respectful. Like, we see the hard work that you guys put in, and hats off, man. But thank you so much, Pat. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to sit here and talk about the greatest division in all of wrestling right now. Um,
Yeah.
it's it's a lot of controversial takes in here, but I hope
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody has
Sorry about
enjoyed the
that.
time.
Yeah. All the love to the roster. We absolutely love you guys. We will be in the crowd almost all the time,
Yep,
and we will always be supporting you. And
every single time.
thank you for having me. This was so much fun. Honestly, whenever you want me back on, I'll be here.
Hey,
We
don't
will
worry,
work
brother. I
this out
got you.
again. This was a blast.
Heck yeah, man. Well, thank you so much again. Can you let everybody know how to find you on social media if they want to follow you or anything?
Oh right, I am Patchy the Pirate, like Megan the Stallion.
Two E's.
Patchy Patchy the Pirate with two E's on TikTok and Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram,
All right,
and
my friend.
And toward the beginning of next year, I have a small appearance in a movie
Hey,
that that hopefully will be ending up on streaming. You can follow Surf and Squatch Studios to go see the trailer. It's called Worlds Apart.
nice.
Um, if you'd like to check that out, we'd
Heck yeah.
appreciate it.
I love it. I love the plug. I love the plug. But all right, you guys. This is Najee from NXT with Najee. It's been real. This is a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. Until next time, be easy. See you.